Same. Like we studied about congruent triangles, no? Same. Mathematics. You are in mathematics only, na? Yes. Yes, yes. Congruence of triangles. Yes. So human tradition is human goal being fulfilled generation by generation. That is human tradition, isn't it? So in wisdom I am able to see the human goal, and I am able to see that generation by generation it is being fulfilled. So is the AC not working? Everybody is doing this? Okay. So effect of AC on the body is not being fulfilled. Yes. नहीं, इक्वल मात्रा के लिए बोलते हैं, यहाँ मात्रा नहीं है, क्वांटिटी नहीं है. तो सेम एज कह सकते हैं, सेम एज वी कैन से सेम एज. So in module 3 we are going to talk about understanding the human being. Okay, so now let us recall again. So in module 1 we took an introduction to the course. Okay, now let us come back to the session. Yes. So in module 1 we got introduced to the course. In module 2 what did we discuss? Knower, known and the process of knowing. So in module 2 we talked about knower, known and the process of knowing, and thereby we saw the 5 dimensions of a unit, isn't it? Form, property, natural characteristic, innateness and coexistence, and something that we did exercise for also, isn't it? Now in module 3 we are going to talk about human being in detail. So if you see in module 1 also, keeping the diagram of the self, we had talked about all the activities, and we will again have a look at that. So understanding human being comprehensively is the first step and the core theme of this course. Human being is there as coexistence of self and body. The activities and potentialities of the self, reasons for harmony or contradiction in the self is something that we are going to discuss. So in module 3 we are going to investigate in further depth and also in further detail about human being. So understanding the human being as coexistence of self and body, and in-depth investigation into the need, activities and response of both self and body, reinforced by direct observation through practice sessions 1 and 2. In lecture 10 and 11 we are going to discuss it. Then the activities and potentialities of the self in further depth and detail in lecture 12 to 14. Reasons for harmony or contradiction in the self in lecture 14, and sources of happiness reviewed in light of the above in lecture 15. Okay, so these are the 5 lectures, they are in module 3. So in lecture 10 and 11 we are going to investigate in further depth and also in further detail about human being. In particular we will try to understand the human being as coexistence of self and body, and in-depth investigation into the need, activities and response of both the self and the body will be made. Till now for most of the people, major effort was at the level of thought, at the level of acceptance through rational inquiry. However, now this will be reinforced by direct observation through practice session exercises 1 and 2. A brief discussion on the basic content and process of exercise 1 and 2 will give us an idea about the possible outcome of it, on the basis of which we can conclude many things of importance in studying the human being. So this is something that we had discussed in fact before lunch when Ganesh ji was discussing about practice session 1, then this thing was being discussed also. So we already went through this, I will not go over it again. So we had discussed this yesterday, we had seen this also. I hope, and I do not need to go over it again. You could see this also, we had discussed about this. Then observing self by the self, we had talked about it. We looked at all the 7 steps of exercise 1. Then we went over to exercise 2, we looked at the 7 steps of exercise 2. So basically if you see, like difference between self and body we already discussed in UHV-2. Now here we are trying to understand the self and body through direct observation. So we have already started working on exercise 1. Take a mic. Take a mic.
Existence and universe are same or different, Bhaiya?
Same.
While translating yesterday, we had a doubt, Bhaiya. Same.
Same.
Existence and universe means same.
Same. Yeah. Same. Universe. 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 Universe is the same as existence. When we say universe, so like since the innateness of every entity is existence. Yeah. So when we say existence, it is very close to me. It is something just available to me. I can see it. When you say universe, it appears as if I have to look something outside. So that's how the word universe has not been used. Existence has been used. So when you say universe, you feel like looking beyond this planet, in the cosmos. When you say existence, everything is there, exists within me, outside me. No. Nature submerged in space.
So universe, existence, same, no, Bhaiya. There is no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. So to understand, we can say the two are the same, but we are not using the word universe here. We are using the word universal. Now, when we are saying universal here, we are talking about this planet. But this can be applicable to every planet. This is also there. Like universal human values, universal human order, isn't it? Take a mic.
Yeah, Bhaiya, when we say universe, now people talk about multiverse also. There are many universes. So then existence is much, much bigger than that. That's what I see.
Can be said, yes. When we have the word multiverse also, now again, what we are subjecting universe to? Is it only this galaxy or all the galaxies? Yeah. Now there are some scientific hypotheses also when you say multiverse or antimatter or things like that. So they are basically some theories. So we have to see what multiverse means to the people, what antimatter and all those things means. So we have to look into it. So calling it existence is better. Yeah, calling existence is better. So the 7 steps of exercise 1 and 2 is placed in brief to get a feel of what we are doing. Detailed discussion and practice is done in practice sessions, which is being run along with the content delivery. 2 lecture on content delivery followed by 1 practice session. By now we must have gone through 4 or 5 practice sessions covering 3 or 4 steps of exercise 1, and it must have given a feel of clarity and confidence obtained out of direct observation. Okay. So maybe we can do this again. Let us go back to this exercise of observing the imagination. We can do this for 10 minutes and then proceed. Okay. I need to be aware of the object of my imagination. What am I paying attention to? I need to be aware. I need to be aware of the feeling within me every moment. And I need to see whether the feeling that I have at this moment is acceptable to me naturally or not. Do I want to continue with that feeling or not?
Already described this step 1, 2 and 3. This we have already done in the morning. Yeah. Is this fine, 1, 2, 3, or there is any question on this? ऑब्जर्वेशंस को लेकर हाँ बताइए.
When I was in observation, things that were running in my mind was all like I was planning for what I need to do after I go home and all those things. That was also one of the focus. So what is the bottom line feeling of this is it a feeling of anxiety or do I have the feeling of maybe responsibility?
That you have to ask yourself. When you are thinking of, when I go home, what will I do? Right? You are planning for it. What is the feeling at the basis of that planning? She is asking whether it is, what you said? Anxiety or responsibility. Yeah. So you have to ask yourself, what is it? If it is feeling of responsibility, then you will not get worried about it. If it is feeling of anxiety, it means there is some disharmony, right? Some contradiction with the situation that you are thinking of. So that you have to decide. Same situation and you are thinking of it, it may lead to anxiety or it may lead to a proper planning. If you have sense of responsibility, you will do the planning properly. For example, if I come to take this session and I have this feeling of relationship with each one of you, then I plan how to conduct this session in a meaningful manner. If I have a feeling of opposition, it will lead to lot of worries. Same people, right? Same conditions, isn't it? That is very rare possibility. What it generally means is you are not able to observe your thought. That's generally the meaning of it. It is possible under certain very specific circumstance that you do not have thought. But what is that condition, we will see. But normally what is happening is that these thoughts are subtle and you are not used to see that subtle thing. When you start observing your imagination, what you are able to see in the beginning are the thoughts which are very agitated. When there is no agitation in the thought, or there is harmony in the thought, you are not able to observe it, because it has become now subtle. So these agitated thoughts are gross ones, right? When they are in harmony, they become subtle and you are not able to observe them. In fact, when you say peace, what is the meaning of peace? Peace has to do with the thought only. When there is harmony in your thought, when there are no contradiction in your thought, that is what is called peace, right? So when there are no contradiction, you find it difficult to observe it. It has become subtle. When there are agitations, you are able to see those thoughts. So quite likely that the thoughts are there, they are peaceful, there are no contradiction in the thought, but you have not developed the capacity to observe that degree of subtleness. So what do we do? Just continue observing without reaction. So if you are not able to see any thought, fine, let it be so, okay. Continue to observe your imagination without reaction. So if you continue to observe without reaction, slowly you will develop the capacity. Your capacity to see your thoughts, your imagination will become more subtle as you go ahead. If you start reacting, then it will not work. So just continue to observe without reaction. Then slowly you will be able to see that some thought is going on. It is a harmonious thought. There are no contradiction in the thought, right? Then you have to go beyond that thought and see what is the feeling behind these thoughts. That feeling is still subtle. That is why when you start observing, you first see the thoughts, then as you go on observing and your subtlety increases, you are able to see your desire also, your feeling also. That is where we want to work. Once we are able to see the feeling, then we are asking this question, whether this feeling is natural, unnatural. Okay. Is it naturally acceptable? Is it not naturally acceptable? Then we are asking whether with this feeling we are in a state of harmony and happiness, or we are in a state of contradiction and unhappiness. So that, starting with the observation without reaction and continuing with that observation will slowly make your capacity more subtle and subtle, and you are able to see first the agitated thoughts, then even the peaceful thought, then the feeling behind it, then you can start evaluating your feelings. Okay. Yeah. You had some.
Ganesh, actually, when I started with this observation, usually it happens. Mostly I am in peace, I think. So I won't be having any thoughts. Then I think about this, then I may be connecting my thoughts with something. From there, I can connect it with some other thoughts. So will there be any subtle thoughts below this imagination or something like that? Because initially I'm having a feeling I'm not thinking about anything. Then I may be thinking about something, start thinking about something, it will be connected to some other thought. If it goes like that, will there be any subtle thoughts below these thoughts, or
See, when you are very gross, you are not able to see even your agitated thoughts. What you are able to see? You are able to see the object of the thought. This thought is relating to some object, which is still more gross, right? You get this idea? So you are used to see gross things. So when you are not able to see the thought, you connect it to the object about which you are thinking, right? Which is more gross than this thought. Okay. So you relate to that object, which is fine. To begin with, you start with that object, then get to your thought, okay, whatever thought you have about that object. Then beyond that thought, there is some feeling relating to that object. So get to that feeling, and then you can go ahead, right? So our main objective is not just focusing on the thought. Our main objective is to be able to see the feeling regarding that object or whatever that object I am thinking of, the feeling about that object, and then work with the feeling. If I work with the feeling and if I set the feeling in order, right, then thoughts will be taken care of. They can be taken care of. Yeah, you have some.
When I try to observe, I am always asking what is my thought, what is my, only that is coming.
Asking
Because
and
can
observing.
we think about multiple things? I am always thinking what is my thought, what is my thought. Only that is coming.
Yeah. I am observing whatever thought is going on in me, right? I am not just asking this question, what is my thought? Some thought is going on, right? And I am observing that thought. I mean, for example, this issue of mother-in-law, right? Whenever you recall of your mother-in-law, you feel very agitated. Okay? Nothing has happened. Okay? Now what is happening there? Can I observe that thought about my mother-in-law that I am having at this moment? Then can I see the feeling that I have about my mother-in-law? That's all we are saying. Okay? Then when I am able to see the feeling, can I ask this question, that feeling I have towards my mother-in-law, is it something natural, unnatural? Is it naturally acceptable? Is it not naturally acceptable? Then step 3, that feeling which I have about my mother-in-law, is it giving rise to a state of harmony and happiness within? Am I comfortable with that feeling? Am I uncomfortable with that feeling? Right? Is it leading to contradiction and unhappiness within? For example, if you have a feeling of opposition with your mother-in-law, right? Is it naturally acceptable to you? That feeling of opposition, is it naturally acceptable? No. Is it leading to a state of harmony and happiness? No. Are you comfortable with this feeling? No. This much I have to verify. And if I am able to verify this much, okay, I will be able to decide whether to continue with it or not to continue with it. So if I find that this feeling is not naturally acceptable and that it is leading to unhappiness, contradiction, uncomfortability, I will simply not continue with it, right? As simple as that.
Bhaiya, here. Ma'am has asked the question actually. So, if you could not able to concentrate on one particular thought, if you are having multiple thought when you are doing observation, so what is the state about it? And it it has been like whether we could not able to concentrate on one particular thought or whether we have to concentrate only on particular thought.
Don't worry, you are a rich person, so many thoughts. So few thoughts gone away, don't worry, Whichever thought is persisting, work on it.
While we are doing meditation, so we are concentrating on one particular point, right? So we are trying to connect with one particular point. So when we are closing our eyes, when we are thinking about something, so either we have to focus one particular thing or we'll be having multiple thoughts, right?
So we are not recommending that you focus on one particular thought. We are saying whatever thought is there at this point of time, I am observing it. Whatever imagination is there at this point of time, I am observing it. Whatever feeling is there at this moment of time, I am observing it. And this I am doing every moment. In the process, if there is a rush of thoughts and I miss some of them, fine, let them go, no problem. Okay. I am not going to chase them. The basic idea is not to count number of thoughts or trying to fix to one particular thought. The basic idea is that any given point of time, if there is an imagination, if there is a feeling at the base of this imagination, is that feeling natural and leading to happiness, right? Or is that feeling is unnatural and leading to unhappiness? Because that is what matters to me at this moment. My happiness or unhappiness is my concern. Okay. So if something has rushed through, let it go, right? Next moment I have to take care. Next moment I should be able to observe my thought, I should be able to observe the feeling, and I should be able to evaluate it, right? If I am able to observe and evaluate it, I will be able to take a decision whether to continue with this feeling, that state of being or not. So next moment, if it is a feeling which is unnatural and leading to unhappiness, I will not continue with that feeling. Today what is happening? You are thinking of your mother-in-law, right? And you have feeling of opposition, and you are uncomfortable within, right? You are unhappy within, and you continue with it for hours, right? For no good. In a state of sleepiness, unawareness. If you become aware, next moment at least you will get rid of it. So your mother-in-law will not make you suffer. Eh? That is the idea. Yeah. For many of you, daughter-in-law, yes. It is the mother-in-law troubling you, and 50 plus it is the son-in-law, the daughter-in-law. Yes.
Sir, 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 in the morning when we were doing observation, I could see that I have concern for my daughter. She is at my sister's place, and yesterday they called and said that the whole day she is okay, but in the nights she is crying. So I became concerned about her, but that time, even though it was feeling of relationship, I became uncomfortable with it. Then I thought I will look into it more. Then I could see this is happening because I am over evaluating her. Then I went further and I could see it is actually otherwise evaluation. Like I am only considering her body, like that I thought. Then I was not able to get what is the feeling. It was not a position that I could see, but now you were saying that it may be for situations. So now I have this opposition for situation, that why did we decide that she will go there and I will come here. But how to come out of this, I could not see the way.
Yeah, and you know, it is also a lack of confidence in your relative. You think that she cannot take care of her, right? So if you had that confidence, that trust on that your sister-in-law, okay, then there was no problem. Isn't it? See, all these things are quite connected, you know. So one, you are over evaluating, right? And second, you are under evaluating the competence of that mother, sister-in-law, or whatever, you know, the relative you are talking about. Otherwise, what was the problem? And this, you know, these small things, if she is finding it difficult to sleep without you, and if she really needs a sleep for her body, then she will go to sleep, don't worry.
Sir, beyond that, what happened? I left that point there and I told myself she will manage. But then, while I was asleep, I had her dreams, and in my dreams, I was very much worried. And the day before yesterday, also I had her dreams only, but in my dreams also I was seeing that she is playing and she is comfortable. So now my problem is, even if I am stopping thinking about her, it comes in the dream and that gets extended.
Yeah, so this imagination during the dream and the imagination during the daytime, they are of the same type. We should not think that this is something different. It is, after all, your imagination. You understand this? This you will realize slowly, that what you see in the dream and what you see in the daytime is not qualitatively different. The only difference is that in the daytime you are taking some input from outside, while you are sleeping you are not taking input from outside. Otherwise that imagination part is same. So you have that worry for her. In daytime you are busy with so many other things, okay? So it is not surfacing. In the night when you are sleeping means you are not taking lot of input from outside, then that same worry is continuing. So it is not a dream in the sense that it is some other world, same world. That is what is your state of being. In fact, many things become more clear during the dream time, you know, the sleeping time. So daytime you recall, you know, oh, I have to be aware and evaluate, you know, and all that. So you stop that. But then you have really not handled it. It is continuing with you. But good, I would say. It is good that now you are becoming aware of your state of imagination even while you are sleeping.
For her daughter, so both are in covalent bonds. So here, unable to control the feelings of her based on the love and affection. Is it correct, sir?
We have to understand, you know, this love, affection are the right feelings and they need not necessarily lead to worry. I gave one possible reason, you know, two possible reasons we discussed. One is the lack of right evaluation of the daughter, you know. Second is lack of right evaluation of the relative with whom I have left the daughter, right. And all these things keep happening everywhere unless you are very careful. Yes.
Kumar Bhaiya, I am really sorry. Morning you said like when I am imagining, you are forcing the thoughts. You are absolutely right. So when I started to imagine now, I first remembered you because you said you should not force the thoughts. Okay, let me leave. Something come. When I ask, ma'am, if no thoughts come, what to do? Okay, then I sleep. But sleep also today it's not coming for me from morning. So what happened was, it took me travel to something. Maybe I love nature or not. Today is the first day I was able to see a forest of coconut tree in my thoughts. I am traveling. I am traveling through the lush of coconut tree. It's fully, you have sunshine, and then it's becoming fully darker. I don't know how many kilometers. I am traveling. All coconuts are falling down, but you can't eat any one of them. In real life, I can take. So there, I am not getting any agony or hatred. I cannot eat. So what does this feel signify? Finally, I came out of that forest of coconut tree. This is the first time I am able to visualize without any force or anything, connecting myself. I just close the eyes, let something come. Like that, I close the eyes.
Yes, Kumar. Yes, you know, I was just responding to her saying that you are a rich person, you know, so many imaginations going on. So don't worry about them. Let them go. Okay. If it has gone, fine. Finish. Let's now look at the next one. See, the interesting thing is that yeah, but see, this is what I am saying, that if there is some imagination going on, let it be there. Okay. What I want to extract out of it is the feeling which is there at the base of that imagination, right? Because it is that feeling which is going to make me happy or unhappy. So that is my concern at this point of time. So if I see through all this, you know, what was the base of it? What was the feeling? The feeling was that nature is all in harmony, in all relationship. If that was the feeling, fine, you know. If the feeling was that, you know, there is so much of trouble in nature, you know, so much of uncertainty, you don't know which coconut will fall in your head, right? Then it was a feeling which is going to create unhappiness for you. Okay. So, if this, and this is very interesting, you know, this coconut falling from the tree from such a height, okay. If you do not have confidence in the nature, it is very risky to walk below the tree, you know.
But yeah, generally my mother-in-law says that we call it Tennam Pillai in Tamil, coconut child. So it will never fall and hurt anybody. Usually it will fall when nobody is around only.
I mean, there's something very interesting, you know. to think that thousands of this, coconut is falling from that height, and people are working beneath that, and it never falls on the head of the people. So much of harmony in nature, isn't it?
Bhaiya, you said that dreams are, Bhaiya, here. Dreams are some imaginations which you have over the daytime, and that is reflecting over there. So what is your view
Not
about
reflecting over there. I am saying the same kind of imagination.
imagination? That's what is, yes, in dream, day as well as in dream, imagination. So what is your view regarding the visions that sadhus have? Sadhus, saints. So
this, when you start looking at your imaginations, there are very subtle things happening there. These subtle things can happen because of something you saw from outside, or your thought has some effect from some other activity taking place somewhere, and the subtle reflection of it. So how subtle you are able to observe. So all these things that we talk about, about the sense and all, only thing is they have developed that capacity to see the subtle changes in their own thought, which is taking place because of the effect of the incidences or some sort thought taking place somewhere else. So you can read through those thoughts which are causing this effect, or those incidences which are causing effect on your thought. But then you have to develop that subtlety to observe. But we are not getting into those presently. We are saying whatever is happening in me at the level of imagination, let me start observing. First we may start very gross ones, okay. Then slowly we also will develop that capacity to see the subtle ones.
Bhaiya, you just now said that love and affection need not let you worry. But generally we worry a lot about only the people whom we love the most. Let's say, let me take for example, my daughter is taking her two-wheeler to go to college. Till she reaches the college, the thought that goes on in myself is that she should be safe. And, she should reach safely to the college without anything happening to her. And the reason why I tell her that as soon as you reach, you need to call me or message me saying that you reached college is because of the love and affection I have for her. So
for her means for her or for her body?
For her body as well as for the self, Bhaiya. Because if she is going to get hurt, then she might fear and never take her bike out again. That has also happened in my family.
So we have to be clear about all these, We think she means the body. She will meet an accident means the body will meet an accident, right?
So how do we not worry about the people whom we love the most? For people towards whom I have no feelings, I don't worry about them at all.
If you start looking at her as self, you will work to make her responsible, make her understand the reality as it is, right? That is what you will do, make her confident of herself, right? Responsible. All that I will do, not worry. If I see her as a self, I will do whatever I have to do in order to develop that right understanding and right feeling in her, so that whether he is driving a scooty or not driving a scooty, she is in a state of harmony and happiness. What am I doing for that? That is why what I need to do as my affection and love for her. Am I doing that? If I am doing that, I can be confident that she is always safe. Whether she continues to have a body or not continue to have a body, she has the right feeling, right understanding, okay? And therefore she will be in a state of harmony and happiness always. Am I doing that out of my affection and love for her?
But what actually affected my thing was I used to be like that, and I always know that she is a good driver. But during Holi, me and my daughter were actually, she was only driving, and we were going on the road. Suddenly something happened. Two boys and bikes, they just came parallelly across, and we were in a subway. It was dark in the night, and they threw some color powders. So suddenly she couldn't see properly. So like it was a very difficult point of time, but still she was able to manage. So I knew that she was a good driver. But after that incident, I do not know whether she got afraid or I got afraid, but I got very afraid every time she takes the bike out. Thinking of, even though that, you are, actually she handled it very well. I was the one who got very scared.
But see, this is what I am saying. I want to have continuity in a thing which is of the nature of changing. You have to start understanding all these things, we were discussing the first or second day. If you want continuity in something which is of the nature of changing, it will not have the continuity. Okay? And you will always be in trouble. You don't understand what has continuity and how that continuity can be ensured. Right? You are not looking into that. You are not working for it. So will continue to be worried. So I made this proposal that if I look at her as the self, then out of my feeling of concern for her, I will work for developing right understanding and right feeling in her. If I can do that, then she will always have that right understanding and right feeling. There will be no accident with the self. With the body, still there may be an accident. You are not going anywhere, you are sitting and this roof can fall on your head. What will you do? I can always worry, right? Yeah, I say no, this roof is weak, it can fall down on your head any time, but you don't worry, you attend to the class. Okay? It can always happen. Eh? So, yeah, I remember we were going from Delhi to Bagdogra. Bagdogra, Bagdogra is in Siliguri, West Bengal. And halfway, there is an announcement. It says that this plane, instead of going to Bagdogra, we are going to Calcutta, okay? Because one of the side, wheel is jammed, so it will be, a kind of forced landing, and when it is landing, it is likely to get, stuck. So it might catch fire, okay? So we may need the help of this fire brigade and all those things. So we'll have to go to Calcutta instead of Bagdogra, but you don't worry, we are with you. Now what do? No problem, the body is of the nature of changing. This may happen with it any time, right? So we didn't worry about it. And it went to Calcutta, it landed there. The pilot was very trained. He safely landed it without any fire. Lot of this fire brigade were there all around. That's it. If it had accident, it had an accident. That's it. What else can you do? Even if you worry. You should pray God even otherwise, not when you are going to meet an accident. This is the interesting thing. If you recall coexistence, harmony and relationship every moment, right? All the time you are happy. All the time you are happy. That is what we are saying. Remember this basic law of existence, coexistence, harmony and relationship. Remember it every moment. Ensure that all your feelings are in line with coexistence, harmony and relationship. Then you are guaranteed happiness every moment. So you don't have to remember only when you are meeting an accident. Okay. How much time we are left with? 20 minutes. Okay, what I will do is step 4 and 5 we have worked on. Bata diye detail. Okay, I will just briefly mention this step 4 and 5 so that you can continue working on it. Okay. In step 4 we are asking that if I have a feeling at this moment, okay, let us say feeling of opposition with someone, who has taken the decision for this feeling? There are 3 possibilities. One is I have taken the decision. Second, somebody else has taken the decision. Third, some circumstances has taken the decision. Right? What is it? Let us see. Else or the situation outside decided it. So let us bring in this law again. So you recall your mother-in-law and you have a feeling of opposition for her, right? Now who decided this feeling of opposition for the mother-in-law? The mother-in-law decided? No, she doesn't know about it. Okay. The circumstances around decided it? No, you only decided it, right? Yes.
Like this happened in 2007 when I traveled through electric train. The stop came actually where I need to get down. That I forgot. So once the train is starting, I came to know that I need to get down. So 2 thoughts are there. That is from my own self or what I wanted to know. One thought is telling you get down, your stop went off and then you need to get down. One thought is telling don't get down. But finally I got down, I met with an accident. Then they recovered and then they admitted in hospital. Like heavy wound on my head, but still nobody came near to me. Then one flag people took me to the hospital. So still now every time whenever I think, I know that I should not get down, but still one mind is telling you your stop is going, you just get down. So 2 thoughts are coming. So it apt for other incidents also. One mind will, that is from my own self, no. So myself is affecting my body in this regard, or good thought and bad thought, or like that situation. I think always this particular thing. With a fraction of a second, I am in a position to decide.
Interestingly, this train, Vande Bharat, new train has come.
Yeah, we traveled.
You have heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah. Good thing about that train is that before it starts, the doors are closed. So you don't have to decide now. Okay. Achha, so even metro does that, huh? Yeah. fortunately or unfortunately I have not travelled in a metro as it. So, see, these are simple decisions, we are not able to make it because we have not worked on ourselves. If we start working on ourselves, you can see that, okay, what is the problem? If I don't get down at this stop, I will get down at the next stop. What will happen? The TT may come and say, where is your ticket? You are supposed to go last stop only. Okay. He will put some fine. What is the problem? Most probably he will not put a fine, I can tell you. 95% you tell him, that I had this problem, I couldn't get down. 95% he will not, put a fine. But if he puts a fine, pay.
After that incident that happened to me also, I slept actually 2 times. Then I traveled to the next station that they didn't ask for fine, they left. But that also, after that incident maybe, like that was the first time that happened. Still always when I travel, I remember this incident.
See, these kind of things are happening because we are not being aware of ourselves. We are not able to be confident of ourselves. Okay. Otherwise, these are very small incidents, right? I mean, just imagine 70 people sitting here and asking all kind of questions, right? If you have some clarity about yourself, you can be very comfortable with all the 70 people, right? And they can ask any question about themselves, about their mother-in-law, their son, daughter-in-law, everyone, right? Yeah, their train accident and everything. Okay. So the important thing to observe in step 4 is that whenever there is a feeling in me regarding anyone or any unit, the ultimate decision is taken by me. I will take one example and explain, Suppose somebody uses some abuse, okay? Somebody is using an abusive word, okay? And I feel insulted, okay? And I have a feeling of opposition for that person who is using an abusive language. Okay. Who is responsible for this feeling? Who is deciding for this feeling of opposition with the person who is using an abusive language? I am taking an extreme case because that will make it more clear, for you. Yeah, think. Who is responsible? So this we have to work out. I will explain, Suppose he is using an abusive language and you do not know that language. Okay. I will come to that. I will come to that. So what is happening is that he is pronouncing some words and those words are falling on your ear, right? There is some sensation on the ear and you read those sensations, right? So some sound you are listening. Then you are giving some association to that sound as some word and some abusive word, right? You are giving meaning to that. on the basis of that meaning that you have given to that sound, right, you are concluding something about the other person. Okay. Then on the basis of that conclusion about the other person, you are generating a feeling of opposition for him. In the process, if you come to know that this person is suffering from high fever, right? This is possible. When people suffer from high fever, they lose control, and they can start shouting, What will you do? You will have a feeling of opposition for him? No. That means, given the same situation, your feeling may be different for the same person, right? Pronouncing the same kind of words. So, ultimately it is my decision, right? Now take a different case.
Bhaiya, what if he is not suffering from that?
I will come to that. In second case, out of my right understanding, I have a feeling of relationship for everyone and therefore care for everyone, and if I find that somebody is using an abusive language, right, I will have a feeling of pity for him or feeling of opposition for him. What will happen? Nancy? Because I can see that people use abusive language when they are suffering. They may not be suffering physically, they are suffering mentally. Isn't it? I was asking this in the morning. When does a mother shout at the child? When she is comfortable within, uncomfortable within? Uncomfortable within, right? So if somebody is shouting using abusive language, right, he or she is uncomfortable within or comfortable within? So if I can see this, whether I will have a feeling of opposition or feeling of pity. So ultimately the decision is on me, irregardless of what is the circumstance from outside. Isn't it? So so you can ask any type of question, right? I always give you that margin, because you are what you are, right? You can ask any type of question in a way you want, right? In a language, in a manner, all that. But that does not mean that you are not respecting me or you are insulting me. What you are saying, the way you are saying, is telling about you. And if I have feeling of relationship with you, I will feel responsible, I will listen to you, right, with that feeling of relationship. I will try to understand what is the state of your being, what is your question, what reality you are talking about, what part of that reality you already know, what you want to know, right. All that I will try to extract, and with that sense of responsibility I will respond, and when I respond, I first try to help you identify the object that we are talking about, number one. Number two, I try to reassert that you already know so much about this reality. Then I try to connect to you to the remaining part of the reality which you feel concern about. If I do all this, you are yourself able to see the remaining part of the reality, and that is how you get the answer, and you feel confident. So not only that you get answer to your question now, but you feel confident that if I pay attention and if I start seeing things through certain process, I will be able to understand the reality myself, and that is what is important. Yes, so this step 4 is very significant, I would say, to keep asking yourself that in any interaction, right, when I am having a feeling in me, okay, who is deciding that feeling? The other person, the situation, or ultimately it is me who is deciding my feeling. Because if I can see that it is me ultimately who is deciding the feeling, then I am responsible for my feeling. And this feeling is leading to happiness or unhappiness, therefore I am responsible for my happiness or unhappiness. That clarity should come, that if I am happy, I am responsible for it. If I am unhappy, I am responsible for it, given the situation whatever it is. In terms of other human being, in terms of the physiochemical conditions, ultimately I am responsible for my feeling and therefore my happiness or unhappiness. Therefore, I am 100% responsible for my happiness, 100% responsible for my unhappiness. So, work on this from now onward till tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning when we come, we will get back to this.